There's a conversation that I feel that should be had amongst women because more often than not, when women talk about their exes, they're always pointing the finger at them and saying, "Oh, this guy was a narcissistic. This guy was a narcissistic." There is basically no instant, no, no instance in which a guy that you used to date was a great guy. I've never ever heard any woman praise a guy that she used to date and say, "Oh, he was a great guy. He didn't work out because, gender differences or because this or because that, but he was great." No, they basically never say that. They're always pointing the finger and saying he was a narcissistic. He had a problem. He was crazy. You know what I mean? So the thing is, I just think it's crazy how women don't acknowledge their own power. As women, we should understand that everything that happens in our lives is our doing. Okay, we attract a certain type of people in our lives because of the kind of energy that we put out there. But if we're not aware of this energy that we have and that we project, then we're always bound to repeat the same mistakes with men. Okay, so the thing is that what type of man that you used to date should tell you something about yourself and not the other way around, because it's not always somebody else's fault. It's not always the man's fault. It's not always the narcissistic hiding in the bushes, preying on you, trying to catch you slipping and just abuse and control you. It's also about why you let this people in your life. You understand? So, first of all, you got to understand that as human beings, we are co creators, okay? Because you create your reality. The type of beliefs that you grew up with that formed your psychology, the type of affirmations, throughout your life, either be affirmations that you tell yourself or that other people told you growing up or evolving as a person. Well, they're always going to have some type of influence, if not a detrimental influence in your life, okay, in your mental health, right? So when you believe that you're not worth a lot, you believe that, oh, maybe you're overweight, maybe you're not very outspoken, or maybe you're not. There's something missing in you. You're not as pretty as them other girls, or you're not as eloquent, or you're not as intelligent, or something is just missing in you, and you have this low self-esteem brewing in you from a young age. Of course, the person who's going to be attracted to that is a person who can reflect that back to you. It's a person who, just like you, has a problem with low self-esteem and just a general sense of failure. Somebody who feels as small as you, who feels like they've got no place in the world, just like you. That's the type of person that you're going to attract, because this is the type of energy that you put out there. So the thing is, you have to take accountability for some of the doings that, I mean, for all the doings and for all the situation you've been through, because that's your energy that attracted them, right? So if you grow up with those types of belief and you don't heal from your past traumas, what do you think is going to happen? Nobody's preying on you, okay, hidden behind the bushes and trying to make you their own object and their own toy or something. Nobody's trying to toy with you. People are just trying to find people that kind of remind them of themselves. See, here is how it gets tricky. A lot of people say that their narcissistic type is usually the very social butterfly, the extroverted person that's out there, cracking jokes, making everybody laugh, making sure that everybody sees and hears him, obnoxious or whatnot. And narcissistic types are usually defined like that. They tend to tell you that they're when a man is like that, he's surely narcissistic, because the way that he treats women. And it is true that some men really have a very ugly personality, but you gotta understand that this is a defense mechanism. Okay, this is a defense mechanism. Just don't believe what you see. Don't trust your eyes. Trust your instinct when it comes to guys. Okay, because if you see this guy that's extroverted, that's always the life of the party, whatever, it may be a way to disguise a low self-esteem inside of themselves, and just give themselves this appearance of somebody who's always comfortable, and and somebody who's always who knows what to say, who knows the best people, the best parties, who goes to the best parties, who dresses the best, who always has something funny to say. This is basically a defense mechanism. It's a way for them to hide who they are inside. So people like that are inevitably going to be attracted to women who are more reserved and shy, and who believe less in their own capacities, in their own abilities, in their own value, actually, as women. And so types like that, obnoxious men, and loud, and cocky and everything. They're going to go for the more shy, and kind of like self-centered. I don't know if self-centered is the word, but kind of like somebody who's afraid to show their colors, who's afraid to shine, because they can recognize themselves in that person, even though they decided to put on a front in society. That's their defense mechanism. But for that person who's more introverted, they just don't have the same defense mechanisms, but they're the same. They're basically the same. So that's why he's attracted to you. It's not because he's different from you. It's not because he's preying on you. It's not because he's some type of monster hiding in the bushes and looking for somebody to make miserable. No, it's because he basically recognizes himself in you, even though it looks by if somebody else is looking from the outside, it looks as though you guys are very different. It looks like you're two complete opposites, but you really are not, right? So you have to recognize that those people that you call narcissistic have something in common with you. There is a reason why they were in your life. It means there is something in you that resonated with them, right? Even though personality wise it looks like you're very, very different, right? Another thing is that a person like that, once he or she recognizes him or herself in you, then they know how to manipulate you. Okay, they know because they are you. They can understand you. They get you. Okay, so manipulating you is not just for fun, or just because you're crew and they want to torture you, but and here I'm not making excuses for emotionally and physically and mentally abusive people. Okay, I'm not making excuses for them, but I'm just trying to get at the root of their reasoning, okay, their feelings, and it's to help you understand better, right? So the thing is, a person who's like that, okay, who portrays a very comfortable, a very easy going, easy laughing, kind of obnoxious persona in society, but deep down is very has a very low self-esteem. While that person, when he or she manipulates you, is because they understand what are your weaknesses. They understand you better than a person who would be really different from you. Okay, you get it. So they get you, they connect with you, and so in trying to manipulating you, they're trying to get away from their own negative self-image. Okay, they're trying to persuade themselves, okay, I'm not so bad because this person is actually beneath me. This person actually bends to my wheel. This person would, do whatever I ask in a drop of a hat. They would jump a cliff if I asked them to. They would they would kill somebody if I ask them to. Okay, so they feel a sense of power because, and that sense of power is necessary for them because without it they're gonna feel worthless. Okay, so they basically need you, the person that reminds them of themselves, to elevate them, okay, to make them feel that they are better than they are, that they're greater than they are, because desperately they're seeking for that self-validation. And but the lesson to be grasped here is not so much as why they do it, but it's why do you let them manipulate, open the door for them, in your life so that they can damage. It's because there is something in you that connected with them as well. There's something that connected with them as well. Of course, there's the energy, which is the basis of the initial, mutual attraction, the same energy that you guys have, and that he's able to recognize, and that, you're able to recognize subconsciously as well. But he or she, I don't know, let's just say he, because I'm mostly addressing women, okay? So, but um, he recognizes that energy, but he's more advanced than you because he can not only recognize it, but he can use it, right? But for your part, sometimes you don't even recognize it. Don't recognize that you guys have the same energy, because from the outside you guys look so different. He looks so extroverted, he looks so comfortable and stuff, and so you start to believe that in some ways he's superior to you. You think that a person who's introverted is inferior to a person who's extroverted, because you can't express yourself. You're always shy, you're always nervous to talk to people, so he must be superior to you. So subconsciously you know that you guys are alike, and that's why you click, but you cannot recognize it consciously. Okay, so but he can. But the thing is that you got to understand that you open the door for that person, right? You open the door for that person to be able to manipulate you and to use you as a means of elevating himself. Okay, you have to take accountability for that. You have to understand the type of energy that you have. You have to understand that some people are sensitive to that energy, and that some people will use that energy to their advantage. Okay, and you have to understand that you have to change that energy. You have to change those beliefs about yourself. You have to change that concept of low self-esteem if you don't want to attract those people anymore. If you don't want to attract narcissistic types anymore, you have to be more self-assured. You have to love yourself. Okay, you really need to love yourself, and you can trust and believe that you will never find any narcissistic person again in your life if if you insist in calling them narcissistic, right? Because everybody, let's face it, everybody is narcissistic, and everybody looks out for themselves. Okay, and everybody is selfish. I know some people abuse other people, and I'm not trying to make excuses for those types of abuses, which can be very extreme and can cause a lot of emotional health issues. But at the same time, better safe than sorry, right? Instead of entering relationships after relationships, wondering, oh, how is he going to treat me this time? Is he going to be a narcissistic? Just take the time to assess your own feelings, okay, when you get in a relationship. What are your beliefs? What price do you give on your value. Okay, do you really believe that you have something valuable to offer, to put to the table? Do you really believe that you're offering something to this person that they will never find elsewhere? Or do you think that, oh, this person is so much better than me because he's so social, and he's so comfortable, and and I'm not, he's everything that I'm not, so I'm actually lucky to have him. Because if you have those beliefs, then of course you're going to attract people like that to feed off of you. Okay, and they're going to recognize you because you're basically the same as you. Okay, so be very careful with that, and just stop blaming people. Stop pointing the finger. Stop being a victim of life. Stop. Just stop telling yourself that everything happens to you. You are the co-creator of your own existence. Okay. Nothing happens to you. Nothing falls upon you. You can create your life. You create it based off of the ideas that you have, okay, of your mental disposition. So change your mental disposition, and you will never have to deal with narcissistic men again. Okay,